Not sure what fucking happened, but everything crashed. Trying to just stream and just everything just fucking does that. Try and just. I feel horrible right now. Alright. I don't understand. Where could they be? Adam fiddled with their glove, humming an incoherent tone. Gone. And held shakily. Digging my hand through my hair. How? They're primetime jerks, but this is too much. Could have just ditched me. They couldn't have just ditched me. Where'd they even go? Do not fret, Luna. You are not alone. You have me. I twitched. It's not as big of a reassurance that you think it is. Papa. Would you like to eat? I think you should eat. Humans feel better after food, yes? What do you... We're not gonna look at the thing of humans feel better after food, yes. We're not gonna pay attention to that at all. Nope. Alright. Yeah, it's just normal for me to do that. I guess sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, humans do this thing and humans do that thing. Sometimes I do that. I guess not totally weird, but sometimes weird. Especially in space. What, do you cook now too, next to cleaning and fixing? I do many things. I don't think... Unless you're somehow like an intergalactic chef, I don't know if you'll cook human food well. So we don't got much food on the ship. My guess is we don't got much food on the ship. Can't even muster up the energy to sigh. Hurry, have Kyra handling our meals. They sputter as if I just spit on their boot. Our food is inferior. Hardly crunchy. Why would crunchy need to be a factor? It can be crunchy, soft. I paused for a moment, wondering if I should question them further, but decided it wasn't worth the interrogation. If you say so. So you're a janitor, mechanic, and cook. What planet did they pick you up from, huh? They flicked their wrist, as if I've given them a compliment. Rejoice! I am very talented. I can do anything for you, Luna. Anything except find our crewmates, apparently. They shrugged nonchalantly. Not a care in the world. Well, they know. Listen, they know. They know something. Their apathy was something to behold. It wasn't my place to judge, but I couldn't help feel suspicious. Certainly meet a lot of different types of people working this job. I sure and Atom did mention they fixed the ship, didn't they? I figured asking Sai again would be worth a shot. Not to mention, for these cases, maybe it was about time to look through the logs. Yeah, and we're like, okay, we have someone on the ship. How many people are there? Somehow, is there more, like 6 people? And they're like, there's still one. But this guy, them, and they're like, 1. Let's head back to the main. Maybe we can figure out what happened there. They give me enthusiastic double thumbs up, eager to follow close with a pep in their step. They learned some things about humans. I'm actually surprised. Impressed. I was still deciding whether I preferred being alone or not. Count my blessings, I supposed. We enter the main console, my steps leading me to the archives unit. Keying my ID, I scrolled through the past few hours, only to feel my heart shrivel, freeze, and drop in the span of seconds. Every single log file in existence was corrupted, and the backups. Even the backup of those backups. How could it?
Hey, Snow, I actually just remembered another life and death question.
Oh, no, Adam. It's like, no, Adam. My fingers work the keys, digging around for something, anything. There's a weird, like, hole stitch thing. It broke. Wish I knew how to stitch. It's just that. It's horrible. Adam fidgets and shuffles besides me.
But it is very important. I mean, it is very much this time.
So not now. Made another indignant noise, muttering under their breath.
Grumpy, I will remember.
You better fucking remember. Anyway. As I said, I will be laughing a lot. Other than that, they seem to stay put, watching me closely as I agonized over the console. Where's everything? I yelped as the console sparks, static riddling across the screen before it turned off completely. What? No! I can only stare back at my reflection, wisps of smoke curling between the crevices of the keys. Atom leaned over my shoulder to take a peek.
Do you have time for life and death question now?
Ah! Anyway. It's just like I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna kill this guy. Anyway, I closed my eyes and inhaled deeply, counting to 3 before exhaling out. What is it? Atta made happy noise. I'm saying things how they would say it.
I made happy noise.
Adam made a happy noise, glad to have my attention again.
What can you eat?
Furrowed my brows. What? What do you mean? They shuffled impatiently, tapping their foot.
What can you eat? What can you eat without dying horrible, painful, choking death? Will you explode like crater bud if I give you the nut?
What kind of nut are we talking? I'm sorry. Oh, they're asking if we're allergic to nuts, obviously, or if we're lactose intolerant. I don't really have any problem.
Or your gut will fail and liquefy if I give you the lactose.
They're asking if I had any allergies. They mentioned something about cooking, didn't they? Our dietary restrictions are in the files. Didn't think to check. Could hear the pout in their voice.
Rating will take time. You will tell me now.
It's just like,
when will we notice that
they're not human? I have no idea their gender. Who knows? Anyway, I roll my eyes, irritation clear on my face. If it gets you off my back, I can eat anything.
Convenient.
I will remember. Yes. Honestly, yeah, I don't have any food allergies. I'm not vegetarian or anything like that. I can eat anything.
I will remember.
I fixed them with a pointed look. Aren't you worried, Adam? Where's everyone else? Should you be asking about their favorite colors and their tummy problems too? At that question, their demeanor shifted.
No, they starve.
Damn. A dead seriousness in their voice completely threw me off. It's full of stone cold malice, unlike anything I've ever heard from them. I know they can be insufferable sometimes, trust me, I know. The fact that they're missing is still a huge concern. Fold their arms, a rising heat in their tone.
They are mean and bossy and kick you around. The captain, she is the worst. I will never forgive her.
I blinked, wondering where the hell that even came from. How did, what? I shook my head, my frustration rising with every second of their interaction with this newbie. That doesn't matter. This entire situation is wrong. Can't you see that? They shrugged. Everything I want to care about is right here. Never mind. I glanced over at the control panel, eyes scanning over the buttons and dials before landing on that very, very enticing big red button. Walked towards it. What are you doing? Calling for help. Captain always said not to press it unless necessary, but circumstances are dire. Or at least I would if the big red button didn't burst into sparks and smoke just as my fingertips reached for it. I stared slack-jawed as my hand hovered mid-air, 1 feet away from what should have been my one last ticket to salvation away from this mess. What is happening? Amongst the many deities living in the stars, there's got to be one out there that absolutely detests my entire being. Adam made a hum of acknowledgement, staring at the console. Bad luck, scoffed, gritting my teeth as I fumbled with my tool belt. Luck has nothing to do with this. Getting on my knees, I worked at the panel underneath the main console until it popped off with an unceremonious kerchink. Adam stiffened behind me. I could only freeze in horror, attempting to comprehend what I was looking at. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's normal. It does not look normal. Is that normal? I don't know. Engineers, mechanics, all that. Is this normal? Does this happen? What was supposed to be wires and circuit boards were riddled with pulsing, inky tentacles. No, not tentacles. Worms. Bobbed and weaved and slid through the internal circuitry, barring any possible attempt I had to even tinker with it. Ever insistent, I decided to proceed anyway, pulling out my screwdriver and poking the closest part with the tip. It wiggled away in response. However, they were responded to stimuli. It's creepy as hell. Voice murmured softly next to my ear. I do not think you should touch that, Luna. A grip tightened on the screwdriver. I don't think so either. Left it open, refusing to touch it more than I had to, even with the gloves on. But I had to be sure. One by one, I pried open every hatch and opening I could think of within the room. Nothing but worms. Adam fidgeted with her hands, silent all the while. For once, they seemed to understand my growing desperation. My gut roiled in disgust as I tossed the final panel away, and the metal clattering against the floor. They've taken over the ship. Missing crewmates, malfunctioning AI, unknown funky organisms crawling through the ship. Is anyone even supposed to do in this situation? I was never trained for this. Or I was, but that was orientation months ago. And all they told us was to press the big red freaking button. Pacing back and forth, I fidgeted with the flaps on my tool belt, muttering solutions on my breath. Luna? Snow! Snow. I do not see why you worry. What? Do you not see the worms everywhere? I have seen them before. Safe. Steps halted at the casual admission. You've seen them before? They're not dangerous? Safe. Secure. But you told me not to touch them. Just because safe does not mean touch. Once they're around the room, uncomfortable tingles running up my arms, just looking at the wriggling. Without the haze of panic, I could pick up on the distinct smell of burnt eggs. Held back the urge to gag. Tell me you can look at all of this and not want to puke. They jerked as I have just insulted their mother. 1, that is rude. 2, I have seen worse. The worms were spilling out of the floor and disappearing through the grates at our feet. But there was so many. We tutted in disappointment. Are you also scared of 100 million ants? That sounds terrifying! You are a giant to ants, Luna. Well, scared of ants, I will remember. What was that? Nothing. Worms safe. Admittedly, their easygoing demeanor about the whole thing did help me calm a little. The detail they seemed pleased by. I have another life and death question. I don't want to run with those. Is this a hobby of yours? What animal is your favorite? Don't ignore my just question with another question. Animal now. Oh my god. I don't know. Cat. Wonder. I will remember. Take it easy with the icebreakers already. But understanding Luna is so much fun. Stop calling me that! What is wrong with calling you Luna? Nothing's wrong with it. It's just not my name. So I can call you Luna. It's not what I said! Okay. I groaned, burying my face in my hands. Do we want? They giggled cheerfully, hopping on one foot. I will. Can we get back to the worms? You've seen them before, but how do you deal with them? You do not? I'm sorry, you do not? Why deal with worms if safe? Just because safe doesn't mean let them infest the entire ship, Adam! Why not? Do we really need to explain? Actually, you don't answer that! You know what? Stop talking. I'm just going to sigh! Soft crackle emitting from the speakers. How may I assist? Slumped in relief at hearing the monotone voice once more. Meanwhile, Adam seemed to huff in annoyance, folding their arms after being brushed aside. I gave them a short glance of acknowledgement before turning my attention back to the ceiling. Where's the nearest station we can dock at? Nearest station is approximately 5. We're calculating. Apologies, I can't finalize the distance. What? I thought you were fixed! I was. It seems my navigation systems have been tampered with. Tampered? What do you mean tampered with? I have been tampered with. I know you said that, but in what way? A different way. Decided I could be gently wringing it. Deep breaths. Like, changed, altered. Affirmative. Who would? Looked at Adam at the corner of my eye. He stood staring at me the entire time. A brief second of paranoia filled my chest before I quickly quelled it. They've been with me for the past few hours. Didn't make sense. Is it the same with everything else? Does it feel like everything else has been altered? I mean, yes and no. Upon rebooting, several of my usual functions were inoperable. However, since my waking up, the loss of control has been increasing in increments since. You what? So you're telling me you're worse off than before? Affirmative. Why? Why didn't you tell me sooner? My initiative directives were also tampered with as of 60 minutes ago. I cannot do what is not asked of me. I groaned. Loss of control. So what does that mean? Are we being hijacked? Why would anyone else even want to take this stupid vessel? We just deliver earthen pet kibble and platinum gray chew toys. It is not an attack. The source is from within. Within? Worms. Must have been those gross worms crawling through the systems. Then what can I do? May I suggest Can you just shut the? Can you integrate that new?
I have suggestion.
I slowly turned to regard the newbie with an apathetic look. Yes, Adam.
Take walk with me.
Claire turned furious at their nonsense. In what 7 billion galaxies would that help? Told me things were safe, and look at what they did. We're stranded. Despite practically blowing up in their face, their helmet tilted. Nothing but jubilance radiated off their body.
Walk will help. Promise.
Adam,
Promise, Luna. It will help.
Adam, I'm going to kill you. Alright. Maybe it was in fact I needed a breather. But I ended up agreeing to go with Adam. Fine. But they could tell I was about to accept their invitation, considering they took a step towards me and yanked me by the wrist before I could even say a word. The next thing I knew, my boots were thumping against the grays behind theirs, their grip around my wrist firm without a chance for me to slip. Their excited laughter echoed as they led me down the halls, less of a brisk walk and more of a merry jog. Confidently took turns without even glancing to check. It seemed they had a destination in mind. Eventually they stopped in front of one of the airlocks, or rather, what we used as the garbage chute. Technology wasn't sophisticated on the ship, and that was something I had to accept ages ago. Every time I came into proximity around this area, I worried the creaking would finally give way to a collapsed doorway sucking me into the abyss. Kinda understand why Adam brought me here. The view of the glass separating us from the oblivion in the other room was still admittedly breathtaking, though in my case it would be literal, considering I have to hold back a panic attack every time I caught a glimpse outside. I wasn't even terrified of space until I got this job. Some practical jokes just leave a worse impression than others. Adam doesn't notice my subtle distress, and even if they did, decided to ignore it.
It is like I remember.
You've been here before.
Many moons ago. One day, I will take you swimming.
Swimming? Alright, they meant outside. Just the very thought made my palms sweat, my heart sinking within my ribcage. Did they really get a thrill from being helpless, floating out in space? It would explain why they haven't taken off the suit yet. I think I can.
Yes, you can. It is easy.
He reached for my hands, intertwining our fingers and squeezing gently through our gloves. Fine, I'll let them. Contact was out of the blue, but at this point, I've come to accept my crewmate's quirks. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed to this nonsense in the first place. Maybe the stress of the unknown was making me lenient. I couldn't see their face, but I could somehow tell they were beaming. Wait, we're not doing this now, right? I don't want to go outside. They tilt their head in confusion.
We are not. You are not wearing suit for swimming.
Oh, I relaxed. Then, is there a reason we're holding hands next to the dumpster?
Many reason.
Can you give me, like, one? I haven't been thought.
I remember great happiness here, huh? You ask for a reason, that is reason.
They tighten their grip, stepping forward into my space, their helmet nearly bumping my nose. I started leaning back. I can tolerate the hand holding, but I don't appreciate my own bubble of oxygen, Adam. They laughed again, light and airy.
I will make your oxygen for you.
What?
I only want to see you.
Are you trying to see every single pore on my face too? They tittered again, a smile in their voice.
You are funny. I will remember.
Sighed. That was barely a joke. Why do you keep saying like that you're keeping tabs on me? They paused briefly before realizing what I was referring to.
I should know. I must know. Everything that makes Luna happy. Nothing else that is matter will matter.
Held my breath, staring at them in bewilderment. At this point, I couldn't even deny anymore. I glare at Adam was smitten. God knows why. We're like, he's obviously in love with us for some reason. That's a bold confession.
Not bold enough. Never enough.
Okay, calm down there. Should I just ask? Should we ask? I don't know. Are you in love with me? Wouldn't hurt to ask, right? Maybe the sooner I get to them to admit it, the sooner we can stop this ridiculous rendezvous and focus on what actually mattered. Are you in love with me? Their hands dropped mine as they were hot coals.
Luna, love does not begin.
They lunged for my hands again, squeezing tighter and tighter.
You will let me.
I was just asking.
You will let me.
Depends
on what.
You save the ship. Adam choked on the laugh.
Save the ship, save the ship, save the ship. Easy. I am almost done cleaning.
Cleaning? The lights flickered, turning to a colored hue.
Your favorite.
I blinked. Lights weren't meant to do that. What did you just do? They laughed cheerily, holding out their arms as if they're proud.
I make ship better. You will not need Sai anymore. You will not need friends anymore. I will care for everything. Food, flesh, favorite things. Everything will be your liking, my Luna Nova.
What?
Alright. You are a tiny bit deaf. Should I repeat?
No. Can you please explain what's going on? What did you just do to the ship? Are my comrades?
If I'm being honest, you will not like me.
Those words send a cold chill on my back.
But that is alright. Everything is alright.
That isn't alright. Nothing was ever alright with this person. Adam admired my silence for a moment before leaning closer.
What is it you want, Luna? Ask, and I will give everything of me.
I want to. I get it! You like a wrench? Braced my feet on the ground and swung. The sound of glass cracking sharp to my ears as the impact traveled down my shoulder. Adam made a sound like a strangled animalistic cry, dropping to their knees and clutching at their head. Typically, space helmets shouldn't crack under that kind of force. They were supposed to be bulletproof, and you'd crack your skull sooner than you'd crack your helmet. But the company was cheap, and for once, that was to my benefit.
Luna?
My eyes widened as I stumbled back.
They're not human!
Worms dripped out of their head, slapping wetly against the grate before joining the rest between the crevices. I knew they couldn't possibly be part of my crew, but seeing what was essentially a suit full of worms did it for me.
Luna.
Bang, another good hit for Methersure. A guttural screech scattering more worms across the floor.
Luna!
Gripped the wrench tight, abandoning their crawling form to sprint down the hall towards the emergency escape pods.
Luna!
The walls and floors creaked and groaned as I ran, contorting in shape to trip me. I righted myself with a flailing of my arms, coughing for breath as I threw open the hatch. for the escape pod and clambered inside in a mess of limbs. I buckle in, hands shaking as I flicked buttons and dials for the ignition, heart painfully hammering against my ribs. Countdown flickers on screen. The vessel shudders to life. 10, 9, 8. Lona! I screamed, jumping in my seat. Adam clawed at the pod. Its worm-like innards pulsing and bulging between the cracks of its shattered helm. 6. Lona, Lona, Lona! 5. It giggled softly, sighing in mock disapproval. 4. You know it's useless. 3. So smart, but tiny bit stupid. 1. Buttons and dials were set simultaneously with hollow, harrowing clicks. The pod jittering to a stop, left staring at Adam's cracked helmet as it chitters, its laugh sounding more insect-like. You can have tantrum. I do not mind. I don't know. Like, what? Is his voice different now? In a horror kind of way? It leaned against the glass, helmet thudding as it tilted its head. That love-struck way characters do in cartoons. I will wait. Fingers tapped playfully against the glass. Distorting humming coming from the mass inside its head. I sat there frozen, my body unable to even tremble from shock. Licked my lips, refusing to look away. My voice sounded distant and muffled through even my own ears. What are you? Adam stopped his rhythmic tapping. Talkative so soon. I can't do anything else. I stared a moment before giggling, my shoulders shaking from mirth. Candid. Very true. What am I? I seemed to consider a moment before knocking its helm against the glass and getting excitement. Do you remember, Lona, many moons ago on this ship? I was small, weak and hungry. My brains were inkling of what it was talking about. A stowaway? Is it possible? I was ready to die, but I sneak into metal box instead and find crunchy bits. Food? Found food? The edibles. Yes, joy and applause. But I find food to also find problem. Your friends, mean and hasty, surround me like moon lions. They're gonna be stealing our rations. Of course they'd be pissed. The worms writhe wildly as if in anger. But I was so small and weak. They want to crush me under boots and burn me alive. Every single face stormy, but all but yours. We paused for a moment, reminiscing. The worms calmed. You look at me. Mercy. Star among the black star holes. Their tone softened to that of reverence. Do you remember holding me in your glove? Do you remember shooting me into space? I shot you into space? It's like a death sentence rather than a rescue. Then it clicked. 6 months ago, you got into the dog food, didn't you? Perked up, nodding eagerly. Maria had found a pest, digging through the supplies and eating through half the bags. She called the whole group to catch it, and was busy repairing the hole it crawled through. Caught in a jar, shaken and punished, just trying to survive. Kyra suggested throwing in the engine furnace. Marcus wanted to pick it apart. The others chimed in horrible, torturous methods out of boredom when letting it out of the airlock hatch was so easy. Ran off with it just as they started bickering. It was no bigger than my palm. I just thought you were an endangered species. An honest truth the way I did. The markings matched, didn't they? a chirp of amusement. You are very smart with the ship, but tiny bit stupid with the animals. Sighed longingly, tracing a circle over my face with a finger on the glass. I remember your smile. I cannot forget. I never forget. You saved my life, my Luna Nova. My kind answer actions in spades. You are getting what you deserve. The pod shudders, screws spinning loose and dropping to the ground with muffled clinks by my boots. Watched in horror as worms started squeezing in through the holes. Swarming in, they land on my lap, my arms, my shoulders, and the gap around my collar. I can feel them curl around my ear, brush against my cheek, prodding against my visor, more and more piling on and on. Get them off of me! Unbuckle myself, kicking open the hatch as Adam stepped back in time. Bursting out of the pod, I scrambled to flick away the horrid things on my body, shuddering at the sensation still ghosted over my skin. Adam watched, hardly offended. Haha, I got impatient. I snatched my hand before I could even finish, ridding myself of the worms. The remaining ones curled around me, sticking to my clothes and skin in a way that was almost affectionate. How we have our home already. What would you like to do, my Nova? Home? I nodded excitedly. Home. Ship. Right. Adam took over the Bidadari. Can we change the name? It's so weird to pronounce. I can name ship better. Even now I could hear distant creaking and dull rumbling all around us, transmitting gentle tremors from under my boots. Like the ship itself had come alive, breathing. My voice came out meek and numb. I want to go back to Earth. Adam shook its head. No, no, no. I am better than any planet. I can make anything. Here. It cupped its palms together and something started wriggling underneath its gloves. Small, colored pebbles rolled into its hands from the cuff of its sleeves, growing into a pile as it presented them to me. Scrumptious. I recognized the dry petals instantly. Is it offering me dog food? Gently nudged his hand back down. I can't eat that. He gasped in shock, an intense pout in his voice. Why not? You can eat anything, yes. You told me so. Doesn't include dog food. It sighed and tutted. The worms wriggled about in annoyance. Fine, fine. I learned from Cook what to cook. I paused. Are you talking about Kyra? I dig her brain for recipe. Plentiful. Does that even... Never mind. I don't want to know. Alright. We're like, whatever. Just accept everything. Somewhere in my confusion, Adam had hidden the kibble away. Suspiciously muffled crunching noises coming from within its chest. Did he eat it? Did it eat it? It. Sorry. Bad with pronouns. Sorry. I'm sorry. It. It is their pronouns. With its... Is it eating... I eyed it warily. What are those even made of? If it had a mouth, it would give me a cheeky grin. If it had a mouth, it would have given me a cheeky grin. Me. My body shuddered, sprinting down into his gaping head wound. The smell of burnt eggs was more intense. I don't even want to eat worms. I don't want to eat worms. It laughed nonchalant. It will not taste like worms. It does not even look like worms, remember? Oh. I can also make you some cat. I do not know what cat is, but Luna can show me. Would you like your own cat? I don't want to eat cat. I briefly imagined an animal made of wiggling black worms. I ignored the nausea collecting in the back of my throat at the thought. That's fun. I don't want to eat a cat. Pointed at his helmet. Doesn't that hurt? I made a confused noise before realizing where I was staring. So it's making cat a food made of cat. It's like, are we not be like, cats are usually what we do as pets, not food. No one eats cat. It made a confused noise before realizing where I was staring. It is like fresh air. Fresh air. Adam really is just worms. You're not mad at me? You said you return favors, so shook his head quickly. I will never, ever. You can do the hitting again if it is that way. What? No, don't be crazy. Then again, I did expect some. What did I expect from something not even human? Sorry. I startled as Adam removed my glove. I like Adam. Anyway, raising my hand with its firm grip, Atom muzzled into me, carefully avoiding nicking me on the jagged edges. The smooth glass rubbed against his palms as the words retreated within the helm, avoiding touching me directly. Even then, it let one stray worm curl around my thumb, the texture cold and foreign and strange. I could feel light vibrations on my skin as they let a happy hum. Right? We will sing and dance and fall in love, Luna. I cleared my throat awkwardly, resisting the urge to tug my hand free. I think you're being a little too optimistic for your own good, Adam. Chittered happily at the sound of his own chosen name on my lips. Optimist. Of course I am. You have no choice but to like me. His whole tie-in around my wrist. And do not think of escaping. I will hunt you. I will find you. And we will start all over again. Is that the music? It's very quiet. Music quiet? Music's probably quiet for you. I gulped. What if I asked nicely? No. Stay. But stay. Stay. I swallowed thickly, not daring to move a muscle or protest another word. I didn't think I'd be held hostage by an enamored parasitic worm, an extraterrestrial thing. This whole situation was bizarre. I expected to wake up under red lights again if I tried hard enough. This is crazy. It tutted in satisfaction. What is the saying of that melody? No es la locura en realidad es el amor. Since when do you speak?
You used to be my angel, Snow.
Hold on. I want to see if I can translate this. I don't even know. I don't know Spanish. No es la
Lo.
cara
En realidad es el amor. It is not madness, it's actually love.
That's what it said. The lights over our heads dimmed. The reflection off Adam's helmet illuminated the look of dread on my face.
Now I can be yours.
And we dance in the synchronous rotation. Thank you for playing. I like that. Anyway. Close game. Game. Close. 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 Just close, you bastard. Just close. Close. What happens when I'm streaming? I try to close something. Bastard. Fucking bastard. Not closing. I gotta try and. I feel like this. I don't know. Do we want to do one more endings? Probably not. I know, if I get like demands and stuff, maybe I could, but no one really does that. Can game just close? I don't know what is wrong with this. I closed it, so I don't know why it's not closing. Oh, now you're gonna close when I try to open Task Manager. Alright. These... That's the thing with, like, window games. Whenever I... Or not window. Whenever I'm trying to, play games and stream them, and I try to close them, because I'm streaming, somehow just refuses to close. And it's always a pussy when I open Task Manager, because it doesn't want to be shot in the head. Gruesome imagery, I know. What is it called? Don't look away. I'll just put this in parentheses. I don't know what this says. Oh, don't tell me you're... Like, Markiplier had this... Like, I have this problem a ton. Hold on.